is Patricia Lindgren, and I'm a freshman at Clemson. I recently went to my new student dialogue. I went to one on the privileges of age, and I thought it was really interesting. We started off by doing an activity in smaller groups, and we were given a bunch of different cards, and half of them had countries on them, and the other half had certain privileges, such as like how old you have to be to drive or how old you have to be to vote. And in our groups, we had to match up which countries we thought went along with which privilege. And I think at this point is when my group really achieved true dialogue, because we really had to think about the different cultures and what privileges would go along with that. There was a lot of discussion, and a lot of people had differing point of views, so we really had to kind of figure out what we thought as a group would be the best choices for each thing. So then after all the groups did that, the person leading it, he did a really good job of facilitating the entire group, because we went over the answers and he asked each group what they had put for each one, so it was good to see in comparison what the other groups put, and so we just went over all the answers, and some were really surprising. One thing that we talked about after was the age to vote in certain countries, because in one of the countries it was 30, which is obviously much higher than here in the U.S. So we talked about this one because it was very relevant, because we just recently had an election. So we talked a lot about if 18 is a good age to vote, and I did think that it is a good age to vote here in America, whereas in other countries it might not be a good age to vote if they're not as educated. But I think once you're in college that you have formulated enough opinions about your political views and that you can vote in elections. So that's when I felt at that point in the dialogue that I was more involved, because I could relate to it really easily because we had just voted. And some other members of the group were more against being able to vote at age 18. They thought that it was a little young to be voting, but I think that it's good because you're starting to become an adult, and so it's like kind of one of the first privileges that you have. We also talked about the drinking age in America being 21, and there were definitely a lot of differing viewpoints on this one, but I think overall we agreed that 21 is a good age for our country. But we did talk about how in Spain the drinking age is 16, and they have a lot less problems with alcoholism, because drinking there is more of a daily part of their life, and they do it in moderation, and it's part of their culture. And so I think that's why a lower age works there, but here in America we're not at that point, and so that's why we agreed that 21 was a better age for that. So I really enjoyed talking about those things, because I found that talking about the voting age was really relevant. And I think that dialogue is important because it helps you see other people's point of view and not just yours, because you're discussing something with other people. It helps you to look at things in a way you might not have thought of before, and I think that's why it was a component of Library 100, because it really got you to think outside of the box, kind of, and just accept other people's point of views in addition to yours. And I also think that once you get to college, is when your communication skills and everything really should be at a high level, and so dialogue really helps you to practice that and get used to being in situations that you would be in the real world. So that is my vlog. So bye.